$32 million. That is what the client is threatening to pull right now at 2 in the morning because his yacht's generator failed off the coast of Sardinia and his wife missed a dinner in Monaco. You are 52 years old. You own 11 vessels, 400 employees, and a name that opens doors in Fort Lauderdale, Monaco, and Dubai. And still, tonight, you are on your knees, literally, on a marble floor in a villa you do not own, apologizing to a man who built his fortune in 3 years flipping currency, while you spent 32 building this. This is level 7. But let's start at level 1, because there are 7 levels between broken empire, and the gap between level 6 and level 7 will nearly kill you. Here is the number that should scare you. 92% of people who start in this industry never make it past level 2. Let's go back to where you started, on a dock, at 19 years old, with sunburn and no plan. You are 19. You are a deckhand on a 90-foot charter yacht in the British Virgin Islands, and your paycheck is $28,000 a year, tips included, if the guests remember to tip. You sleep 4 hours a night in a crew cabin the size of a closet, sharing air with 3 other guys who smell like diesel and sunscreen. The chief stew wakes you at 5 a.m. because a guest spilled champagne on the teak deck, and it has to be spotless by sunrise. You think this is hard? She says, not even looking at you. Wait until you're the one who has to smile when they insult you. You scrub the deck on your knees while the sun comes up over water, worth more than your entire family has ever earned. Your hands are cracked from bleach. You call your mother twice a month when there's signal, and you lie and tell her it's going great. You are 23 now. You made it to bosun, then first officer, and your salary jumped to $65,000 a year. You think you've arrived. Then the captain pulls you into the wheelhouse during a storm off Antigua and says, "You want my job? Then you need to understand something. Every single person on this boat can replace you by tomorrow morning. Every guest can end your career with one phone call to the owner. You are not crew. You are furniture that talks. You miss your sister's wedding that year because the boat is chartered through the exact week. You miss your grandfather's funeral the year after that. The structural problem at this level isn't the money, it's the calendar. You do not own your time. You never see it coming until you're standing on a dock in Monaco, checking a departure schedule instead of boarding a flight home. At 27, you get your captain's license and your own vessel, a 160-foot charter yacht, and your salary climbs to $180,000 a year. This is the level where people on the outside think you've made it. You post nothing because you can't. Confidentiality clauses cover almost everything you see and everyone you serve. One night, a guest, a hedge fund founder worth 9 figures, corners you on the aft deck with a whiskey in his hand and says, "You know what the difference between you and me is? I own boats like this. You drive them. Never forget which one of us can afford to lose the other." You smile because that's the job, and you go below deck and you don't sleep. The structural problem here is liability. One mechanical failure, one drunk guest overboard, one insurance gap, and 30 years of your life disappears into a lawsuit. You start drinking more than you tell anyone. Your marriage, which started at 25, is already cracking because your wife married a man who's home 4 months a year, and that's on a good year. You're 32. You leave the deck entirely and become a yacht broker and fleet manager, working the business side, selling vessels to people richer than the last captain who lectured you. Your income jumps to $450,000 a year, commission heavy, feast or famine. You close your first $80 million sale, and for one night, you feel untouchable. Then your business partner, a man 20 years in the game, sits you down and says, "Congratulations. Now you owe the bank $300,000 in bridge financing on inventory nobody's bought yet, and if the market turns even slightly, you're the one holding the debt, not the client." Your wife files for divorce that same year, not because of one incident, she tells you, but because of 400 small ones. Every missed dinner, every call that went to voicemail, every year you chose the deal over the house. You keep the business, you lose almost everything else. 38 years old now, and you take the leap. You start your own charter management company, buying 2 vessels outright and leasing 3 more, and on paper your net worth crosses $2.5 million. This feels like the first real number of your life. But the structural problem at this level is leverage. Every yacht you manage is financed, and every loan has your signature on it, personally guaranteed. Your accountant, a sharp woman named Denise who has kept you solvent twice already, looks you dead in the eye and says, "You don't own 5 yachts. 5 yachts own you." The second charter season underperforms. The bank doesn't care about your name on the hull, they care about the number on the note. You stop sleeping through the night. You start checking weather patterns and cancellation rates like other people check their phones for texts. You haven't taken a vacation in 6 years, in an industry literally built on other people's vacations. Quick pause. If you've made it this far, you already know this industry eats people alive slower than it kills them, so hit follow now, because level 6 is where it gets personal. 45 years old. You partner into a shipyard, buying an equity stake in a Netherlands-based builder that constructs custom superyachts for clients who think in 9 figures. Your net worth crosses $40 million. You've built something real now, hundreds of jobs, a name that gets whispered in the right circles at the Monaco Yacht Show. But the cost here isn't financial anymore, it's reputational, and reputation in this world is fragile glass. A competing builder, a man you trained under 15 years ago, spreads a rumor that your hulls have a structural defect after 1 delayed delivery. It isn't true. It doesn't matter. 3 clients pull orders worth $60 million combined in 1 week. Your old mentor calls you and says, "You didn't get rich enough to be safe. You got rich enough to be a target. Every dollar you make now, someone else wants to take it from you, and they will lie to do it." You spend 8 months and $2 million in legal fees, just proving a lie was a lie. You win. You don't feel like you won. By 50, your net worth crosses $200 million, spread across shipyard equity, brokerage commissions, and 3 charter fleets operating from Fort Lauderdale to the Côte d'Azur. You have a private jet now, which you use almost exclusively to fly between problems, not vacations. Your second wife, who understood the business going in, still tells you one night, quietly, over a dinner you almost missed, "I didn't marry a man. I married a schedule with a face." You laugh, because the alternative is admitting she's right. This is the level where the money stops being the story and the isolation becomes the story. You have 400 employees who depend on your decisions, and almost nobody left who will tell you the truth to your face, because everyone around you now has something to lose if they upset you. And that brings you back to 52, on your knees, metaphorically, and once, literally, on a marble floor in Sardinia, because a generator failed and a client's ego cracked. Your empire is worth $500 million on paper. 11 vessels, 4 shipyard contracts running simultaneously, a brokerage arm closing $250 million sales, and still, at 2 in the morning, you are the one apologizing, because here is the revelation nobody tells you before you climb this ladder. You never actually reach the top. You built an empire that services people who are richer than you will ever be, and their money is the fuel that keeps your $500 million machine running. The client who threatened to leave that night, the one who made you kneel, he is worth $4 billion. He didn't build anything. He inherited it, then multiplied it, doing nothing you would call work. You spent 33 years and 4 relationships and 1 collapsed marriage and countless funerals you missed, climbing toward a ceiling that was never actually a ceiling. It was a mirror, reflecting someone else's fortune back at you the entire time. The real price of this empire was never the money you spent building boats. It was every dinner, every wedding, every quiet Tuesday you traded for a life that looks unbelievable from a dock and feels, most nights, like managing other people's freedom while forgetting what your own felt like. You look successful in every photo. You have not felt fully present in a room in over a decade. Next episode, we go inside the world of the private jet industry, from ramp agent to owning a fleet of Gulfstreams, and the exact moment a broker realizes the client in seat 2A owns more of his life than his own family does. Tell me in the comments, Which level would you have walked away at? Level 2, level 4, or would you have stayed all the way to 500 million, kneeling on marble floors and all?